Seconds. Hi, this is Sheldon Abbott from KUCI. I'm here with Junior Watson, doing a little interview today, finding out a little bit more about Mr. Watson from the Wayback Machine. Good morning.
Good morning there, Sheldon.
How are you, Mr. Watts?
Everything's good.
Word has it you were born in Visalia.
That's correct. Grew up in Tulare.
Isn't that the home of the largest farm show in the nation?
They got a big one there at the fairgrounds. Yeah.
That was just a note. And you went to school in the area too, undoubtedly.
Yes, I went to St. Aloysius Catholic School there, Tulare.
And at what point did you run into, if I may ask, jump to Bill Stuvey? When did you meet Bill?
Oh, that's a few years after the fact there. I moved from Tulare in 1965 to San Jose. And that's where I ran into Bill right off the bat.
At school or in the neighborhood?
Just in the neighborhood. I was walking around and I heard this band playing. There was like a teen center in this park, maybe about 2.5 blocks from where my mom lived, at the Garden of Eden Apartments. And I heard them playing, and I went in there and I said, "Hey, that doesn't sound quite right."
Naturally.
I go, "This is the way it really goes." And he, Bill was had his eyes wide open, ready to learn and stuff. And I was just the guy to try to teach him, but I would just go over there and try to correct them every now and again on their mistakes.
And you guys became friends after that?
Oh, yeah.
And hung around? And
oh, yeah.
Word has it, I've been paying attention, that you guys would teach each other songs. Songs that you've learned.
He never taught me any songs.
He never taught you songs. How about the Beatles songs? Who was first to
well, he was doing Michelle by the Beatles all wrong. So I had to correct him on all this stuff, and he goes, "Do that again." And I go, "I'll do it as many times as you want me to do it, but I want to see you do it once." And he finally ended up doing it. But he ended up switching from guitar to bass, which I think was probably the best thing for him, because he's turned out to be a world-class bass player.
I believe you're right. I concur with that.
So.
And let's see, what was the first instrument that you picked up? Any instrument?
No, the guitar is the first one I attempted.
And do you remember what it was? Acoustic or?
No, it was electric.
First guitar.
Actually, yeah, it was my butt. See, there was these Mexican friends of mine, the Trujillo brothers. They lived behind my grandma's house. That was in Tulare, on the other side of the alley in the back. And I'd hear them. They had some cousins that were in. Let's see, what was the name of that band? It'll come to me. They were a regional Mexican superstar band, that had just a couple regional hits. I don't think the rest of the United States or California probably ever heard of them, but they were big stuff there, and they were their cousins. So they would rehearse over there, and then also Paul and his brother were trying to attempt to play guitar too. So they got me into it. And of course, the first guitar that I ever got came from White Front. Did you ever have White Front stores here?
Sure, right up here on Harbor Boulevard.
So, it was like the equivalent of Walmart or Target or something like that back then. And the guitar was called a Rodeo, which is basically a Taisco Zemgar, Japanese guitar, right? So the one that was on the showroom floor there, I picked up and had in my hand, which I knew nothing about the guitar in the first place. But the one that they gave me was not that guitar. They gave me a cardboard box, with a guitar in it. By the time I got it home, there was only 2 strings on that guitar. There was a facade of a living room in the front of that place, my grandmother, and they added on to the back of the house, and then there was a side entrance, so nobody ever went to the front of the house. It was just there for holidays, always looking perfect. And that's where I used to go to rehearse, to get away from the house.
Perfect.
Because it was pin drop quiet in here. I could hear myself. They couldn't hear me when I was messing up. So there was a song back then, "Walk Right In, Sit Right Down." Right? I did that on those 2 strings. Let
your hair hang down.
And they thought I was a genius. And then they bought the rest of the strings, and it's been downhill ever since.
It's been a lot easier since I've been downhill. Been a lot easier since you got 6 strings.
Now I know why bass players play that, because they only got 4. Much less confusing than 6.
That's pretty funny.